Yo, what's happening, y'all? This is B Drizzle of the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Welcome to the number one LA Clipper podcast out there. We want to first give you guys a shout out, LA Clipper fan, LA Clipper Nations, for being here. Share this podcast with your family and friends. They will not be disappointed, but let's get it popping.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers to throw away. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Slossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now. But you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in the few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this bitch, fresh out the county with nothing to lose.
This for nothing. No. Wanna count on you. But I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. Not at all. You. But my money ring, that you do. Oh, yeah. So I don't do this shit for nothing.
Rolling up some good, pulling up till we get faded. You know how we do it. Everybody take a flex on me. I got the keys to the city. I don't need no limousine. I turn up when I pull up and tell my booking agent book a show. Running around with the paper bag, running around with the paper bag. Going crazy spending all this cash. Going crazy spending all this cash. If I spend it, I'ma get it back. Even when I ride around dirty, a nigga don't need a seatbelt. A nigga don't need a seatbelt. Nah, it don't cost to keep it real. Run up, get done up. Shit can get real. Fuck around and get your ass rocked. Nigga, fuck around and take your shit. Got you asking God why. Drag your ass into an alley. Pull out aim for the target. Should've never been around the killers. In my town, we the fucking realest. No cheddar bobs round here. I get the spray and they gon' get down. Ski mask over my face. Catch a body in broad day. Catch a body in broad day.
I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me. Y'all ain't got nothing like this over there. Bunch of frontline millionaires. Bunch of self-made at the Trump bag. Guess the odds really took it there. Any problem, I'ma reappear. With a squad you already fear. All this time I've been playing fair. 7 digits every single year. Niggas die, niggas disappear. Alibis, I was really there. Life a crime till I get the chair. Columbine in my trigger hair. Still I rise and I took the stairs. Feel a fire, it's a different glare. All these fights, it was never fair. Busting knuckles, still I'm swinging fears. Tasting salt inside my dripping tears. You should know I never had a fear. You should know I never had a shot. Never had a chance till I took it here. Man, it's proud, but I see it clear. Strategize, I'm an engineer. Pick a side, gotta keep it there. Switching up, nigga, looking weird. I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me.
Oh, yeah. Y'all thought I forgot? Hell no. Hell no, I ain't forgot y'all, man. I got a special show for y'all tonight. This is aftermath of the game 3. And I could not help but make this pre-recorded video tonight. I could not wait. I'm full of energy. I'm full of actual, you know what I mean, spunk. And I just could not wait to do this live because there's a lot of things I'm going to be exposing. So as y'all come in here, make sure you guys, first off, like I tell y'all, my beautiful people, smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? Smash the share, smash the subscribe. Hit the CASHAPP. $BJ Matthews, $BJ Matthews for all this great content that we drop to y'all on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis as well. Make sure you guys get your membership badges that are available. Everybody's a pull-up badge member. Make sure you guys get your membership badges right here. Y'all can see on the screen. These are the actual members of the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast who get certain perks of the show. And we definitely appreciate everybody that comes in. If you guys want to become a member, make sure you guys go on our page on YouTube. You guys can join as a basketball member. You're going to be a pull-up member for the rest of your life. But that's besides the point. We get into this basketball stuff right now with the NBA Finals. There's going to be a lot of stuff I divulge, but y'all see the title. Y'all know what it is. I'm not backing down from no smoke. I'm not taking away no punches. I'm not pulling no punches. I'm going all in this topic because it's long overdue and it's perfect timing. And I just think it's very, very, I'm saying, funny how things just happen at certain points of your life that you have to actually just sit back and wait and watch. Don't speak, kind of keep quiet, and actually really kind of just let things settle how they're supposed to settle in. And that's what I'm doing right now. And the time has come to make this video about the Dallas Mavericks. It's time to expose the Maverick fans who's been in my chat, all five of y'all who's been in my chat for the last month, front running, pumping y'all chest, talking all this, crazy shit. When y'all win, y'all flooding my comment section. When y'all lose, y'all know where to be found. Other than a couple of y'all, shout out to my man 2K Chef and our man Mr. Mac Jones. I'm not talking to y'all in this specific video, but the rest of y'all, man, who can only come when y'all want to come around, and y'all want to sit here and try to somehow make the Clipper Nation and my page, suffer and all this crazy stuff, man. I think it's, appropriate to pretty much put y'all on blast. So this is going to be dedicated to y'all. But I'm going to get to the point with the Mavericks. They did not deserve to be in the NBA Finals this year. Okay? We just watched the Dallas Mavericks get embarrassed yet again. They're down 3-0. They're on the verge of getting swept. Now, of course, the series is not over yet, right? It's the first of four. But definitely history is not on the Mavericks side. As y'all know that the Mavericks being down 3-0, the chances of them coming back from a 3-0 lead is slim to none. And no team has ever done in the NBA history. That's 65, over 70 years of basketball. No one's been able to ever come back from a 3-0 deficit from a team that's leading them. The last team that had a chance to do it, who actually got close, was the team that they're currently playing, the Boston Celtics. So they're most likely thinking about that in the back of their mind, that they don't want to be on the wrong side of history when they were just almost on the right side of history last year against Miami Heat, where they end up losing a crucial Game 7. I very highly doubt they allow a team like the Mavericks, who you guys constantly see are just not better than the Boston Celtics from top to bottom. I highly doubt that they allow this team to come back and make them and everybody else look like fools. So I think it's very safe to make this video. Now, make sure, like I said, take y'all time and really watch this video and listen in. This is a pre-recorded video. Hit the like button, y'all come in. I got a lot of stuff to expound on. The narrative killer is back. You know what I mean? Because this is something where it's gonna have a lot of different additions, and I'm gonna probably put a lot of stuff on the screen that a lot of people ain't gonna know. But the Mavericks are in big trouble right now. They're down 3-0. A lot of tunes have changed from what I was hearing just about a week ago about the Mavericks somehow being the Boston Celtics in 5 games. I heard them saying that, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were nobodies, that Luka and Kyrie Irving were going to dominate this series, and yada, yada, yada. Well, it looks like it's going to be the complete opposite. As a matter of fact, not only did the Boston Celtics beat them with Kristaps Porzingis, their big man coming off the bench, who's actually their star big man, they also won without Kristaps Porzingis tonight and was able to go up 3-0. So with or without one of their key players, they're still able to beat the Dallas Mavericks. From from top to bottom, the Suns are just a better team. Better wings, more defenders, two-way players, more experience in the big stage. And it looks like they're getting their coach is even out coaching the Mavericks coach, which is Jason Kidd. So many things are just going against the Dallas Mavericks, but I just don't think they're just physically defeated. They're also mentally and spiritually defeated. Now, when I say mentally and spiritually defeated, I'm talking towards one of their big guys with the Dallas Mavericks and Kyrie Irving. Now, um, the thing about it is that the Mavericks, I think a lot of people really fell into the trap thinking the Mavericks are somehow going to come in and be this team that they wanted everybody to, buy into because of what they did towards the end of the regular season. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the Mavericks ended up being the fifth seed based off their run they made post All-Star break. So as y'all can see right here, this is the Western Conference, the 10 seeds that made it to the play and the playoffs. And as y'all can see, the Mavericks are the fifth seed, 50 and 32, right behind the Clippers, who they played the first round. Now, I'm going to go into why I feel the Mavericks had no business getting into the NBA Finals this year. And as y'all seen, the Mavericks are getting stomped, dragged, picked up, tossed around, um, all over the place, right, by the Boston Celtics. And and I was very, very, consistent about this. The Mavericks are a middle of the pack team who basically benefited off of teams being injured, young teams, and also not playing everybody fully healthy, right? And that's what it comes down to. What I'm starting to realize, actually, what I've realized for a while is that it's not about who's the best team; it's about who's the most healthiest team. And now, of course, with the Clippers, that's not what you want to hear because it seems like every single year, that's the thing that continues to be our kryptonite. It's not even somebody really beating us; it's us beating ourselves because we can't keep our star player healthy. What I mean by star player, I mean by Mr. Kawhi Leonard, who made All NBA second team this year. Let me tell y'all something. Watching the playoffs this year just shows me that if this man on the screen was healthy, he would be dominating um, in the postseason. As great as Boston is, as talented as they are, as probably the best starting five in the league, next to the Clippers, in my personal opinion. Um, they are more than beatable. They have a lot of things like they can cover with their team as far as the size, as far as the defense, the offense, the athleticism, the two-way players, the experience. They have all the key things. But as y'all saw at tonight, they almost gave up a lead within, I think, 7 minutes of the game. They almost gave up the lead to the Dallas Mavericks to come back and win the game. So there's a level of inconsistency that's still there with the Boston Celtics. Now, if they faced a team like us, we would have put them away, um, like we did earlier this season when we beat them 115-96 on their own home court. You know what I'm saying? This is why it makes it so frustrating to watch Dallas be here, because us being in their position, they would have no chance to put us and embarrass us like that if we're fully healthy. But that's another case. Like I said, the Dallas Mavericks, for the most part, like I said, had no business being in the NBA Finals. Um, and I don't mean that to be, I guess you could call it, I know people are gonna say hate. I'm just being with facts. I never saw so many Dallas Mavericks fans come out of nowhere, and the reason they came out of nowhere because a specific weak ass channel decided to come at me for personal reasons, and I sat back and I watched, and I was actually told and sent certain things and videos about a specific person because you know for whatever reason, he has a axe to grind with me and wants to, get me removed and have me silenced and guess want people to just turn on me, which is of course not going to happen because, like I said, I have a loyal audience over at the Pull Up Basketball Podcast as well, respected because we do quality work over here. We definitely make sure that we take care of the people and give them the news. But when you have haters and busters who just can't seem to always, stay out the way and they're, have like access to grind and shit like that, this is what you get. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the trash ass person that keeps making out these videos about me and constantly stalking me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess he must be. I don't know. He must go both ways. I don't know because I never seen somebody this obsessed with another man. But he don't even deserve to have his name even said. But he knows who he is. Y'all know who he is. And yeah, I'm not so sure what he really wants from me. I'm still waiting for that, you know, surprise visit to my job and all that shit. I'm still waiting for, him to come to a Clipper game and things of that nature. I really don't have much to really even say. other than just pull up and we can handle that at that point in moment. But there's really nothing to really even talk about. When somebody, like I said, has a lot of stuff to talk on the screen and say that he got this connection and he got that connection, he got people in LA, and his wife can get him like what I'm saying, like when you got somebody that keeps talking all that, you really don't really have time to go back and forth. I'm not going to even give him a video or give him 30-40 minutes of my time. um I've already pretty much taken care of him 3-4 months ago, 2-3 months ago, if I want to be specific. um and he's constantly still making these vids and trying to basically trying to stick it to me. And I guess that's what happens when you actually have some success. But like I said, man, I'll just wait and see when that day comes where he decides to pop up. I'm still waiting for that. But Yeah, shout out to this clown, and shout out to the clowns that fought that nonsense, because it looks like y'all about to be embarrassing the jokes back on y'all, because y'all pretty much gave up, did all this just to be embarrassed and be down 3-0. Right? We all know the Dallas Mavericks, they had no business being in the NBA Finals. We all know, if we want to be truthful and honest about it, we know that the Dallas Mavericks benefited off of teams like the Clippers, who didn't have their best player, who was injured. As y'all know, the Clippers took the Mavericks 6 games, which in reality actually was somewhat of actually not really something that was kind of, a bad thing, because it showed, like, even when we lost the series, we took this team 6 games, and a lot of stuff had to go their way for them to even win. If we go even game by game, like, you guys can kind of see that up until game, what, 5, the Mavericks really never did anything dominant. I mean, you look at every single game, they were all pretty close. I mean, the first game, we were blowing their ass out by 25, 30 points. They came back towards the end when the game was pretty much over, and that was without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard comes back games 2 and 3, and all of a sudden, he basically ruins the rhythm of the team because he's not his full self. He stagnates the offense because he's a ball dominant guy where he stops the ball. Basically, if they give the ball to Kawhi Leonard and he's not his full self, they're pretty much playing 4-on-5. And that's how you got guys like Luka Doncic, which is another narrative that's I'm about to expose in a minute, that he's somehow this great defensive player. Well, all that shit's going out the window in this series, because like the Boston Celtics have been just basically targeting this man, to the point where you got guys like Brian Windhorst calling this shit out. Now, anytime a guy like Brian Windhorst calls out Luka Doncic's defense and how much he complains and bitches to the refs, something that we all know, um, there's a point that's definitely been exposed. But like I said, I sat back and wait, because no one wanted to hear me out when I said that Luka Doncic would be targeted when you actually play an actual full team, which he didn't get a chance to play against the Clippers. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't about Luka Doncic having to play the Clippers by himself. It was because the man that he constantly, loses to over and over, and the only time he advances when he doesn't have to see him, was basically kicking his ass on both sides of the court. Y'all can look up the numbers. Y'all can look up the film. It's right there. When the Kawhi Leonard was healthy on the court, the Clippers were able to pass the Dallas Mavericks, and it wasn't because Kawhi Leonard was being carried by his team. It was because Kawhi Leonard was doing the carrying on both ends. And that's why I say two-way players always beat out one-way players no matter what. You got Jason Tatum with Jaylen Brown, who are not as good as Kawhi Leonard, but they are two-way players. So now Luka Doncic all of a sudden is getting very, very exposed on both sides of the ball. I'm going to show some film to actually let y'all see what I'm talking about. But back to the point, the Clippers lost games 2 and 3 because they didn't have their full team healthy when Kawhi Leonard came back on the court. But game 4, they turn around and they have a humongous performance with James Harden and Paul George, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute as well, because that jackass over there on the other side of the stream I just exposed, he wanted to make a bone pick with me and make a personal attack about this whole Kyrie Irving and Paul George situation. Now, all these Paul George, people want to say that he had a bad series or he had a bad game here and there. They don't want to call Kyrie Irving out for having two bad series back to back in the same playoff run, right? I'm gonna show y'all how y'all basically overrated Kyrie Irving this whole time, and how I said before that all Kyrie Irving is a great weapon. It was not an attack on Kyrie Irving. It's not a hate spill to Kyrie Irving. I'm just stating facts. What y'all are seeing right now is what Kyrie Irving is when he doesn't have his number one option, or he's facing a full loaded team that actually has great two-way players, right? But game 4, the Clippers come back and win that game without Kawhi Leonard. Game 5, of course, that was a game that the Clippers basically got ran through. I think personally, the Clippers just basically said to themselves, excuse me, Kawhi Leonard wasn't going to come back. So, they basically felt to themselves like, damn, it's another season, another lost season without our best player. And unfortunately, that's something that is a hard pill to swallow, right? When you don't have your best player and you're going through that year after year, it becomes very draining. And I think the Clippers have been drained with Kawhi Leonard not being on the court when it's time. It's not even the fact that how many games he misses, about when he's missing these games. Watching the Dallas Mavericks getting ran through like this makes it even more and more hard to watch, because we know that they do not deserve to be there. Because if it was the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Clippers, there's no way that the Celtics would be running through the Clippers like that, because of the matchup that we provide against them. We have two wings to go at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and no one can be actually exploited. And then you got game 6, of course, that was the closeout game, where I think the Clippers were just basically there, and they just basically checked out, in my personal opinion. But like I said, this is the same series. People want to make fun of Paul George for having such a bad series. He had a bad game 3 where he scored 7 points. Fair. He had a bad game 3 where he scored 7 points. Right? So as y'all can see, I want to show y'all something real quick. Um, These were Paul George's stats in that series, where he scored 7 points in that game 3. Y'all see line 3 from the top to the bottom. That's games 1 through 6 in order. Chronological order. Y'all see Paul George having 7 points. Of course, that was the game he got in foul trouble. Now, this is where idiots don't understand the game of basketball, right? When you get in foul trouble and you have, the whistle keep getting blown, that takes away from your aggression, where you tend to take more outside contested shots because you're afraid to actually go to the lane and draw constant fouls. This happens to all great scorers. And I don't understand why people do not understand this and get it. Right? That was his worst game in that round, was that 7-point game. That's the game that lowered his average from, possibly in the 20s to 19 points per game. That one game took down his whole entire average. Right? Games 5 and 6, had 11 rebounds, had to play the power forward position, which was out of position for him. Something that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic does not have to do. All they got to do is worry about scoring the ball. And they have players around that can do all the dirty work. But when you have a player that has to, not only score, rebound, assist, and play defense, this isn't where you can just rate your stamina to 100 like NBA 2K, right? That shit's tiring, right? But that's what Paul George was alluded to in that series. But nobody seemed to care about. They just want to sit up here and just yell 7 points, 7 points. Well, let's keep that same energy with Kyrie Irving, who basically had a whole entire series where he scored 15 points per game against the OKC Thunder in the second round. Kyrie Irving was absolutely horrible. No one said a word about it. No one talked about it. No one said Kyrie Irving underperformed, or that he had 2 bad games where he scored 9 points. A guy who has not no responsibilities other than to score and somewhat share the facilitating duties as well. But he doesn't have to be obligated to play defense. I mean, yeah, he plays defense in spurts, but he doesn't have to be assigned to lock down players, right? He hasn't been assigned to lock down any other guards on the opposing teams. If you want to say he locked down James Harden, go back and look at the numbers that James Harden put up in that series, right? Again, when you talk about your best player being out, you can't sit here and say anybody got locked up, because you're basically giving them a head start when you're not fully healthy. Because now your matchups, they change when the best player is not there. So now instead of James Harden getting the third best defender, he's getting the second best defender, or he's getting the best defender on the opposing team because Kawhi is not there to take away that responsibility. But like I'm just trying to make a point. Everybody made fun of Paul George for having a bad game. This guy had a bad series, and he right now is on verge having another bad series. He had 35 points or 36 points tonight. But people were making videos about Kyrie Irving throwing the series on purpose. Now everybody's surprised. Now everybody's saying what's wrong with Kyrie Irving. I've been saying this from the start. Kyrie Irving is nothing but a weapon. That's all he is. He's a great offensive talent. He can score with the best of them. He has a great skill bag. He has, a great layup package. But he's just an offensive weapon. He's not a number one. He's a guy that needs his number one option to do what they need to do for them to have a chance. That's what he's been. He was that in Cleveland with LeBron. He was that in Brooklyn with KD and James Harden. And he's like that with Luka, right? The only team that he had to get a chance to be the number one, quote unquote, was in Boston. But as y'all can see, Boston has been doing fine without him. As a matter of fact, ever since he stepped on Lucky, the Leprechaun, Kyrie Irving has been 0-13 against that team. 0-13. That's worse than what LeBron James is with the Denver Nuggets. Speaking of LeBron James, another thing I want to make a clear point is I want to go back to this Luka Doncic comparison. Now, Luka Doncic, people want to compare Luka to LeBron James. And like I said, prior to the series against us, Luka Doncic is a great offensive talent. He's a great scorer, right? He'll give you 30 points per game and notch it off with possibly 8 to 10 assists, right? Not the most efficient shooter, but he scores by getting into the mid range. He scores by with the teardrop. He can get to the basket. He can post you up, and he can shoot the three. He's not a great free throw shooter. He's very average. But y'all get my shift. Luka Doncic, when he's finished playing basketball, he's gonna be one of the top scorers of all time. But he's not LeBron James. And when you put Kyrie Irving with LeBron, vice versa, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, you saw the difference. You saw one guy in LeBron James who was able to go to three straight finals with Kyrie Irving, 15, 16, and 17. You saw LeBron James that was able to not only give it to you on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball, he has one of the greatest blocks of all time against the Golden State Warriors, who was a prime team. And that was the difference. That was the whole difference with what Kyrie Irving was dealing with LeBron and Luka. For the Mavericks to be able to win this series, you have to ask Luka Doncic to play both sides of the ball. And unfortunately, he just can't do that. Right? And I was trying to tell people that earlier in the playoffs. Had Kawhi Leonard been healthy, they would be able to exploit Luka on the defensive end. But what we were seeing is because Kawhi Leonard wasn't there, or he was halfway there, was playing pretty much 4.5 or 4-on-5, which gave Luka Doncic all the help in the world to be, quote unquote, a great all-world defender. One thing about Luka I never really cared for is about how much he front runs. Now, people made such a big deal about when Russell Westbrook pushed him and got in his face. I actually went back and watched that play. Well, it turns out Luka Doncic was running his mouth, trying to say too small to Kawhi Leonard, when he knows that the man is dealing with a injury. The same guy that busted his ass 2 years in a row, he wants to sit up there in front run and talk shit. And Westbrook wasn't going for it. And that's when he pushed him in the check. See, something I know about Luka Doncic is he's a big talker. He's just like Devin Booker. Y'all know how he had that viral video talking about everybody talks tough when they up. Pretty much calling Devin Booker a front runner. But Luka Doncic is the same type of person. As a matter of fact, he's worse because all he wants to do is bitch and cry to the refs all damn day. This guy, I've never seen a person cry after every single call like him. Not even James Harden did that. Yeah, James Harden flops, but he doesn't continuously talk to the refs all night. Give you one call, and then you want to complain about the call before that you didn't get. I just don't understand how people can even like how he plays. It's such a whiny, whiny, bratty, bitchy side of him. Like he just has to whine about everything. As big as he is, he doesn't get a call or he doesn't get what he wants. He's gonna go to the refs, right? The same guy that always has an injury when he's getting his ass whipped. He's always grabbing on his leg. He's grabbing on his knee. He's grabbing on his ankle. He's grabbing on some shit all the time when he's actually going down. I don't respect it, and Westbrook didn't either. Players are gonna get tired of seeing that shit, and players are gonna get tired of him always crying and complaining to the refs, right? Every single game, you just seem to see that he actually had an injury all of a sudden. All of a sudden, he has a hurt knee again, right? Taking pain injections, and he has a sprained knee, and if he didn't, if it was a regular season game, he probably wouldn't play. All this bullshit that we kept seeing because he was actually on the verge of losing a series, or they wanted to try to make his heroics more than what it was. Something very similar to what his mentor and his hero LeBron James used to do. It still does to this day. How many times have we seen LeBron James somehow, be put on an injury list and then he comes back and he always plays after? Or, he makes things, more so about himself. I'm starting to see a lot of traits on LeBron James and Luka Doncic, right? Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But I digress from that. All I'm saying is that Luka Doncic stop bitching and crying and play basketball. Maybe you wouldn't be down 3-0. Maybe your coach wouldn't call you out. And maybe a guy who's twice your size, who has probably never dribbled a basketball in his life, wouldn't be calling you out as well. Let's read. If Luka's ever going to be a winner, he's going to have to use this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performances are unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. He's costing his team because how he treats the officials. Brian Windhorst on Luka Doncic. I could not agree more. Look, it's as simple as this. Luka Doncic, just shut up and play ball. Nobody wants to hear you constantly whine, bitch, and complain to the refs. The fans don't want to. They didn't pay to see that. The players are getting annoyed by it. They're rolling their eyes, and it looks like the commentators are getting exhausted from it as well. Right? But I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the Mavericks are getting back to the finals. Like I just told you, I'm gonna stick to this title. The Mavericks did not deserve to be in the finals this year. They didn't. There was nothing that really shocked me about. There's nothing that really stood out about this team. I just went through one series against us where they won 6 games without Kawhi Leonard, our best player. One of those games in games 2 could have easily went our way. In game 3, we basically took out Paul George early on in the game, and Kawhi Leonard didn't even play. He was pretty much half of himself. They had chances to win certain games and possibly win the series. And then you go to the next series against OKC. As y'all know, I made a video about this. I said that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the best player in that series. It wasn't even Luka Doncic, and damn sure wasn't Kyrie Irving, who averaged 15.9 points per game that nobody wants to talk about. Right? SGA averaged over 30 that series and played and was efficient shooting the ball. And he was leading his team with guys like Chet Holmgren being inefficient, Jalen Williams being inconsistent. Lou Dort did a good job of guarding Luka Doncic. But for the most part, it was SGA carrying the load, right? And the games that they pretty much lost could have went either way as well. If you look at the scores right here, they're all pretty close games. Even the game that they lost in game 6, they were up by, I think, 17 points. Right? Now, I think OKC just basically their youth. You're talking about a team that's pretty much under 25, under the age of 25. SGA being the oldest player on the team. They got a lot of growth. There's a lot of promise with that team. And if you watch how SGA plays, he doesn't complain to the refs. He plays his game. They're going to be a problem for years to come. I'm talking about the OKC Thunder. Right? But I just think personally, they didn't show anything the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Now the third round against the Timberwolves was probably their most impressive. Where I'm talking about, Kyrie and Luka both came alive. Because like I said, Luka was bad in the Clippers series and Kyrie Irving was bad in the OKC series. And then Luka was also, very average in the OKC series as well. Right. But they kept pushing the Luka narrative and pushing the, this, that, and the other narrative when in reality he was basically struggling both those series against one team that wasn't healthy and the other team that was extremely young. Now, Minnesota, them coming out being the world champions, um, I did not I did not know. I thought the Timberwolves was going to win this series. Obviously, that didn't happen. What I found out was the Minnesota Timberwolves had an inability of closing games. Yet again, the Timberwolves pretty much it was a close game every single game they played the Mavericks, except game 5 where they basically got ran through at home, which shows me again, like I said, Anthony Edwards is not prepared yet to lead a team to a championship, even though he has the determination and the will. He doesn't have the experience, or he doesn't have the stoic poise yet, right? And then Minnesota doesn't have enough scoring to outlast Dallas. So there it is. Like I said, they lost that series in 5 games. 2 of those games they could have won down the stretch, but they was pretty much outplayed by Luka and Kyrie, right? So, that's 3 series is where 2 out of 3 of them were pretty much, in my personal opinion, below average when you talk about impressive. And that's just being honest. And as you guys are seeing right now, the Boston Celtics are just pretty much having a field day on the Dallas Mavericks. Now I want to show y'all a clip real quick about what I'm talking about with this spectacular defense with Luka Doncic that I kept hearing. I want y'all to actually watch this clip.
Completely lost. Blow by. Another blow by. Who is he guarding here? Pointing to phantoms. Blow by. Blow by. Blow by. Gets lost. Kyrie has to push him. Blow by. Lost. Whoop. 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 Blow by again. What's he doing? What is he doing? Whoop. Woo. Mm-mm-mm. Luka Doncic defense, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah, like my man said, Luka Doncic defense, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Maybe he's still hurt. Maybe his knee is still bothering him. I don't know. Maybe it's just he had to shoot his knee up and inject it, and you know he probably needed some more painkillers or some more pain medicine so he can move side to side laterally. Right? Hey, that's what it is. Right? It ain't the first time his knee was hurting him, and like I said, man, he's gonna get targeted. And for this belief that Luka Doncic is gonna somehow get better on defense, man, that's not how it works. He is not an athletic player. That's just not who he's said it many times. He plays slow. He plays at his own pace. These guys, you're not gonna get faster, and once you're not gonna get fast enough to be able to guard these guys, man. As you get older, especially, he is who he is, man. He's a slow it down, right? Herky jerky, right? Dribble between the legs 1,000 times, crossovers, spin moves, throw the occasional alley oop, post you up, stays out of shape in the offseason, likes to drink beer. That's who he is. Non-defense having ass. That's what he does. He's not changing. He's not getting faster. He's not getting faster. That's why they hide him on defense. That's why Jason Kidd came on a press conference after the game and said we're going to help him as much as we can, but he has to be able to guard. He knows that he's slow too. I mean, that's not how it works for a player to get faster. They have to scheme to keep him from getting into trouble. But when you have a team like Boston who has 5 guys that can take you off the dribble and they spread you out, you look like how you looked out in that video I just showed y'all. And Joe Mazzulla, shout out to him for exploiting that, showing it to the world that Luka Doncic is a below average defender who cannot stay in front of his man without a lot of help. And I wouldn't be so hard on Luka Doncic if he actually showed some humility. But when I saw him do this to Kawhi, give a damn if it's trash talk. Do that, weren't running like this. It serves him. It serves him well. Right now, of course, like I said, the Celtics aren't done yet. The Mavs are not done yet. But it's like I said before, they had no business being in the finals. And the more I watch it, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm just like, yeah, there was nothing special about this run. As a matter of fact, it was overrated. A lot of y'all overrated Kyrie Irving and said that Kyrie Irving was this spectacular um, guy, player, because I think a lot of people like Kyrie Irving personally. I know I like Kyrie Irving as a person. I like what he stands for. I even like his game. I liked his movie, Uncle Drew, his shoes I hoop in. But people allowed that to cloud their thinking and their judgment and basically try to put out a false narrative. Why when I say that, I'm talking about saying the pull-up pod trash said the Clippers in 5, right? Just like I said, y'all gotta know who to really listen to, because, and I know it's YouTube, but even if you just, like I said, if you just think about it logically, how many games do you think the Clippers would have won if they had their full team? How many games do y'all think the Clippers would have won? Do y'all think they would have beat the Mavericks in that series? And if y'all do, how many games? Right now, why don't y'all put Kawhi Leonard on the team back on the court and we're healthy and the Mavericks are losing, let's say, Luka Doncic? How many games do you think they will lose? Or we could say Kyrie, or let's take one of the two out. You take Kyrie or Luka Doncic out. How long is that series going? Exactly. So people didn't want to, and that's why I respect 2K Chef, and that's why I respect Mac Jones the most, because they at least had a little decency to say, you know what, y'all weren't healthy, right? Even though we won the series, we're happy. We're not gonna shit on y'all. We're not gonna try to make it seem like we beat y'all all the way. Because at the end of the day, who really wants to take a win when you didn't really earn it by beating us at our full strength? Now, of course, you beat who's in front of you, but don't come pounding your chest like you did something. Because what you're seeing right now is against a team that's actually fully healthy. So now you're seeing them on the verge of getting swept. And let me say this, I don't feel nothing but satisfaction, because now you basically went through all that to just get to this point and get run through the cold. Like I said, people saying Kyrie Irving is throwing the series. I don't think he's throwing anything. I just think personally, like the OKC Thunder series, I just think it's a bad matchup, right? I think it's just a bad matchup for Kyrie Irving. He had a great game tonight. He was definitely, on verge of having at least one great game, right? But like I said, He's been overrated the whole time. He's a great second option, a great skillsman, great showsman, but he ain't leading you to no championship. He's never been that type of player. He's 6'2". You can only do so much at 6'2". Like I said, like you can't even name guards his size that lead him to championships. I think the only person you can really name his size, Oscar Robertson led his team, the Bucks, to he was 6'5". Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry 6'3", and he had a lot of assistance on the defensive end as well as the system that Golden State has offensively. Right, so there's not really any 6'2" guards leading them to anything, and that was my only distinction with him and Paul George. I've seen PG actually lead his team to the conference finals in both conferences, both sides. If you stack up Paul George's stats to Kyrie Irving's accomplishments, Paul George has more accomplishments, not even close. But when you have one guy who doesn't have his second running mate and the other one does, he can actually hide a lot of his deficiencies. And when he has a bad game or a bad series or something like that, they can still win. Vice versa, the other guy, because he doesn't have his best player on the court, he can't have a bad game or else they get destroyed. They get, ran through. He can't have a bad game or he can't afford to have one. But this guy could have two. This guy could have multiple bad games. Great talent, great weapon, but that's all he is. That's all he is. And Luka Doncic, I got no respect for him. To me, he's just nothing but a crying, whining bitch who sits up there and tries to, always want to mock somebody. He wants to try to talk about somebody and, wants to pound his chest when he's losing, but he's always grabbing on some shit when he's losing. He wants to pound his chest when he's winning, but he also want to grab some shit when he's losing. So, as y'all seeing, this is arguably probably gonna be the last time we see the Dallas Mavericks this year. In the next 40, was it Wednesday night? Next 48 hours. Now, like I said, anything can happen, but I doubt it. I think this is Boston's time. I think it's Boston's opportunity to win a championship. I think after they lost that series in 2022 to Golden State, and this is what tends to happen against championship teams. You gotta go through and taste defeat before you taste success. Everybody's went through it. Most of the players that y'all see, they've all lost at least one championship, and usually the one they lost was their first one. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. Who else I could think of? All the greats. Right, they tend to lose their first finals. That's when they tend to lose it. So it looks like this is Luka Doncic and Dallas Mavericks' turn. But my thing is, when are they gonna make it back? Because you got the West so stacked, man. You got so many great teams in the West. Like, it's so hard to even get back there. You might not get back there at any point in time. Because look at Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. He had that one championship in Milwaukee. You ain't seen him from him since. Now he's still pretty young. But like I said, it's not a given for you to get back to the finals. So you have to take care of every opportunity. And what the Mavericks have pretty much did, they pretty much done basically show that they're not able to deal with a team like Boston that has too many weapons against their team. So we will see what happens. But again, we'll be back again later on, probably after game 4. We'll see what happens on Friday night. But it's like we said, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, put a live pace out of here like swimwear.
Wow. I've been all around the world, Japan to Amsterdam.
Lifestyle was vicious, yeah. While these out here tried to hate mine, yet I still stood tall on the main line. Two-step, throwing up that gang sign. Rolling around the city, big chain, but he ain't signed. Y'all fake tough, little puffs to my canines. Don't forget cracking at them hit boy parties. Probably had your girl naked at them hit boy parties. Big chains, big flexing at them hit boy parties. Nobody trip, cause they knew I had that big boy on me. Yeah, gang of fast living, addicted to cash get. Disrespected to getting the ass whipped. Don't call yourself a baller unless your whole clan get. Plan you got you ain't working, then you need to plan different.
This on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything.
Yeah, no need for the locks out. Baby got her box out. Just dropped her man, now she looking for that knockout. He did her wrong, then he tried to shame, baby. She was trying to bounce back, so don't blame, baby. Cause it kick her up, one time fuck her up. A true big homie, I don't hear his name enough. Went through the real movie while y'all snowed on the bluff. Gotta give it up, big homie did his stuff. Now it's all about the bag play. Been around more smoke than an ashtray. Right cheek, left cheek, let her ass shake. On God, I'm 100 till my last day. West side, east side, yeah, I'm both for that. No talking, take off, bro, I'm known for that. 50 M's on the scales, yeah, I'm close to that. Yeah, you on the same mission, yeah, I'm hoping that. Make the money overlap.
This on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything. Hey, hey, this on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything.
Throw it up,
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 throw it up. Yeah, that's too hard. Hey, homies. Yeah, 323s, 213s, 310s, 424s. Hey, 818s. Yeah, what we missing? 562s, I see. Hey, yeah. Give it up. Hey, give it up. Hey, give it up. Battle Cat. Dollar. That nigga Dom Kennedy. Yeah. Gotta love that. Yeah. Corrupt. We love you too.